So welcome back to looking at SourceBoost. SourceBoost, as you know, is an integrated development system, and it's a free one that you can download for yourself and install on your own computer at home. And what it does, it allows us to type up C programs, and the C programs that we're typing up will work on a PIC microcontroller. Now, in the last video I looked at Led Toggle.c. So if we look again at this program, you can see it consists of comment lines, a preprocessor directive, which is #include system.h, a function called delay, then it's got a main function which goes all the way down to here, and then it's got this delay function underneath just here. Okay, so our first job as always is to compile this, so we press C for compile, and if we watch down here at the bottom of the screen, it should say something like done. So it has been compiled. What that means that the various parts of this C program has been translated into binary ones and zeros, which we call machine code, and we create a hexadecimal file to store that machine code. Now, as well as compiling the program, we always have to link it. So you press C first of all, and then you press L for link. And again, you can see it's linking down here, and it should say success and done. So we've actually compiled and linked. So we've compiled and we've linked, and that means that we're ready to have a look at the hex code. Now the hex code is here, that's the file, and let's look at the hex code. Here it is. It's just strings of binary code, and instead of writing out 011, so on and so forth, it's using hexadecimal numbers to represent the binary code. So what we have are strings of numbers here. Okay, so really that's our Led toggle, that's our Led hex. Okay, so once again what we have is we have a project, and in the project we have a C file and a number of other files. The first thing to do is to look at this file, compile it, and when you compile it you should see it compiling and then done down here. Now if you made some typing mistake, you will get an error message and you'll have to fix that typing mistake. Then you link it like this, and again you link it and it should say success and done, and then you have your hex code. Now there's one other thing I want to look at in this video, and that's the idea of debugging. So up here we have an icon, and this icon says start stop debugger. Now when it's red, the debugger is off. Normally we leave it off, but sometimes it's nice to be able to test our program before we test it in Proteus and before we upload it to our eBlocks hardware. So I'm going to turn the debugger on and show you how you can test this simple program. Now remember, this program is to turn on and off LED. So I press the debugger and it takes a second to fire up, and now you can see a number of other icons are after appearing underneath, and the debugger has gone green. That's a picture of a bug, by the way. That's why they call it a debugger. So there is the bug. The bug is green, so the debugger is on. Now what we want to do is we want to run the program, and eventually we'll want to stop the program. Okay, so we'll run it to test it, and then we'll stop it if we're happy that it's working. So what we need to use it to be familiar with is this program, this icon here, which is run, and this icon is stop. Now how would I test this program? The program is supposed to turn LED on and off. So in SourceBoost we have plugins. So I'm going to click up here on plugins, and what I want to do is I want to add a LED. Okay, so if I click on LED here and I look over here, here is a LED, see, LED. So now that LED is connected to port B, line 0, and I want to see, is that LED going to flash on and off. Now at the moment I'm not running the program, so the LED isn't doing anything. I'm going to go over here now and I'm going to hit on run. So the program should start running now, and look, there is the LED flashing on and off every second. So that program is flashing on and off. I'm happy. So that's how you test the program. That's useful. Okay, now unfortunately the plugins that we have in the free version of SourceBoost are very limited. If you're willing to pay for a commercial version of SourceBoost, you get a lot more plugins and SourceBoost becomes more useful. Now we don't actually have the commercial version of SourceBoost. Instead we're going to use Proteus to test our programs, and we're going to use our eBlocks hardware to test our programs as well. So we have two other methods of testing our programs. So we don't really need to worry that much about the plugins, but just to show you that it is there, and that you've got several different plugins like a button block, a LED and a LED block, and this is a 7-segment display up here as well. Okay, so we might look at some of those later on. Okay guys, thanks for listening.